the reason why it is important that we again interact with you on this bill is because the bill, as you are aware, beginning from the 6th Assembly, has suffered several setbacks. So, and by the special grace of God, I was able to sponsor this bill in the 8th Assembly. It was duly passed by NAS and transmitted to the President for assent. However, Mr. President declined assent, citing some reasons. So in the 9th Assembly, given the importance, local, national, and global importance of this bill, I decided to review the bill and sponsor it. And when I did that, the Honorable Speaker, His Excellency, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, decided, in his wisdom, to adopt a coordinated and collaborative approach. And that then involved the Ministries of Justice, the Ministry of Environment, and then professionals in this field to look for ways and means of eliminating some of those reasons that were cited by Mr. President during the 8th Assembly. And that we have done, and done successfully. On the 6th of July, the report was considered by the Committee of the Whole and adopted. And then on the 8th, being Thursday, the bill was passed. As we speak, we are sure that the bill is now being transmitted to the Senate for concurrence. So we have come to share with you these ideas and also to thank you. Because as we are thanking all the people who have participated in this role, the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the leadership of the National Assembly, the clerk, and his team. We're also thanking the media because you played a critical role in drumming up support for this bill to receive the kind of attention that it has received, which made it possible for us to bring this back and sponsor it. So we have come here to share with you this very important information, knowing full well that without the media, it will be difficult for the wider society to know that we are still pushing this. One thing is clear, and I would like to emphasize it before we maybe take one or two questions. And that is that Mr. President, in his inaugural speech on the 29th of May, 2015, promised to fight climate change. And he has demonstrated that commitment by signing the Paris Agreement, on climate change, which he did on the 22nd of September 2016. By the grace of God, I was with him there at the UN when he signed it. He has also signed the Doha Amendment to the Kyoto Protocol. That he did October last year. So these are signs that he is truly committed towards it. However, as a critical arm of the government, the National Assembly and the legislators have a duty, a role to play in helping the government to achieve its promises to the nation and to the world. And that is why we have worked on this bill, to help this president and this administration to achieve that promise that he made in 2019. So this is one of the reasons why we pushed this bill. Second, we also know that climate change has created a lot of problems for us in the country and globally. And other nations are making, sustained moves to ensure that they key into green growth, which is what we're also thinking about. And for you to do that, You need a law to be able to guide you. We know we have some policies, but policies are not the same thing as the law enacted by the National Assembly of any nation. So that's why we have come truly to speak with you. And if there are areas where we have to make further explanations, we would like to do that. But let me say, in summary, that this bill makes provision for a National Council on Climate Change to be chaired by Mr. President and his vice as the vice chairman of that council, with membership cutting across most of the ministries. Of course, you know that climate change is cross-cutting. It impacts almost all the ministries. But at least ministry like environment, agriculture, petroleum, water resources, transportation, women affairs. And then we have key players like the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Central Bank Governor, the chairman of the Governors Forum at any point has to sit on that council. And then we also know that as a people from the civil society should also be part of it. And of course, so many other youths and all that. All these people definitely will form membership of the council to meet from time to time, to take decisions, so as to guide the ministries and the nation at large in pushing towards green and sustainable growth for the entire country. So this is the reason why this is very, very important. And this is why we believe that it's an opportunity, a wonderful opportunity for you also to do what you have been doing very well, which is to project this and to let the world know that truly Nigeria is doing what it's supposed to do to be able to key into the issues surrounding tackling climate change so as to avoid catastrophic challenges coming when you fail to take appropriate action and put in place the law to guide you. Essentially, this bill is intended, like I said here, and I would like to emphasize it again, it's intended to achieve green and sustainable growth for the country. The reason the state of Oregon passed that bill is because they are feeling it and they have seen it. If you read some papers just yesterday, you would have noticed that between California and Oregon, there's a terrible state of affairs right there. That's water resources is rapidly drying up, and it's as a function of climate change. I'm talking of things that happened just 2 days ago, if you follow. Let me also remind you that the European Union has also passed a law on climate change, on how they can attain, net zero emission by 2050. They have done that. And I would like to point something out to you in line to show that this is a global effort. They are doing that because between 1990 to 2019, they've been able to reduce their emissions level by 24%. Now, between now and 2050, they are targeting to reduce it by, actually between now and 2030, they're going to reduce it by 55%. So having attained 24 between that time, they have just about 21% to hit that target. This is a clear demonstration of commitment by the European Union to be able to key into the Paris Agreement on climate change. So also other nations are taking their steps. And that is why this bill is very, very important, because like you observed, we've been treating it, just approaching issues of climate change in silos. One ministry is doing this, the other ministry is doing that. There's no proper coordination. If you go through the history of this bill, there has always been that resistance about we do not want a commission. Oh no, we don't want an agency, let alone going to create a Ministry of Climate Change like you just mentioned. So these things have been on. This bill is intended to create a national council that is almost all embracing, that captures people across the country, across the length and breadth of the nation. In effect, we are talking about beginning from the presidency to vice president as chair and deputy chair, then down to representative of the president of the Association of Local Government Council of Nigeria, sitting on that council, and members of the civil society, women, youth, to be able to get this. The National Security Advisor, the Central Bank Governor, and all that. The reason is that this cuts across. So, in summary, this bill is intended to achieve the aims, the contents, the objectives of the Paris Agreement, which I just mentioned to you here that Mr. President signed on the 22nd of September 2016. And has gone ahead to get involved in so many other, climate change related activities. However, I did point out that as a critical arm of government, the legislature, of course, #1 branch of government, we have a duty, an abiding duty, to enact laws that assist the government to achieve its promises and objectives that it has presented before the people. That's why this bill is very, very important. As you read through this, you'll find so many other things about nature-based solutions, which we are talking about environmental accounting, to capture the forests, the bees, the butterflies, and integrate them into the annual budget of a nation. And as you work on your GDP, you try to integrate these contents. All these things are contained in this bill.